Harbor is worse than he was before the rework. I sacrificed my stream today to play Harbor and learn a little bit more about him because I created a video 2 days ago predicting that he's gonna be nerfed with the changes. Well, and unfortunately I was right. First and foremost, let's start with what I think is the biggest problem of his. Let's start with his ultimate. It's 100% on nerf. That's not even like a question. So the thing is, the old ultimate had a lingering effect, could stun people multiple times, and you were getting the information because of the animation from the heaven going down, stunning someone. Right now, it's a big paranoia. That's literally it. Not only that, but the effect of the near side is for 3 seconds instead of 2. Paranoia has a 2-second duration. This paranoia effect has a 3-second duration because it's stronger, because it's on the ultimate. But the problem is, it's so like you cannot use this for yourself unless you're going in first. But the problem is there's also a very big problem with the indicator. So pay attention. When I'm using the ultimate here, ultimate ready, the guys are getting tagged, right? But when I'm gonna be standing a little bit closer, but still in the range over here, so let's say this guy is gonna be in range of 7 meters, he's still in the indicator, right? You can see here. I ult, but the first 3 bots are not tagged. Now, I'm not certain if this is a bug or this is how it's supposed to work because you don't want to hit your teammates, but the indicator is completely unaligned with the effect. So when you're actually ultimating from a close corner, like here, from behind the wall, and the opponents are within 7 meters of the range, they will not get affected. So the person who is close in the corner doesn't get the near side effect. Second thing is, this ultimate has a small indicator when someone is getting tagged. Listen. There's like this small splash of water. Ultimate ready. When someone gets hit by it. But the problem is, when that happens, it's such a low volume that during a big fight, and that's gonna be a big fight because you're ulting, right? And it's gonna be during an execute, like you're not gonna hear if someone is getting hit. So you don't get the information that you were getting before with the old ultimate. And it's also an effect that is one and done. And you have to take into account that the ultimate has the same near side effect that the other near side effects, which means that when you're being nearsighted, you still see in a range of 7 meters, which means that you can just hold choke points. Even if you get affected by holding a choke point like this, you're just gonna hold it. Like you're gonna see from here, if you're getting nearsighted, this is choke point that you're holding, you're still gonna see a person who is getting next to you because they're gonna be within the 7.5 meters range. Now let's talk about the other new utility, which is the Storm Surge, the grenade that nearsights but also slows. Now, I want you to look at my health in the bottom corner and see how long is the slow duration. Are you seeing this? This slow effect is literally slower. This is lower amount of time than the actual wind up of the effect. I don't even feel it. There's like 2 steps that I do being slowed right now and it's gone. It's like 400 milliseconds duration or something like that, maybe even less than it. So the slow effect is completely like not important. It's a cosmetic slow. And the thing is, with combination of the near sight only being 7.5 meters range, you can still hold any choke point essentially. Like imagine I'm standing in, I don't know, this is B main in Ascent. Like if I'm getting nearsighted, I can just still hold it. If this is Ascent A main, if this is a Sunset, if this is any choke point in the game essentially, right? Unless you're playing Breeze or Icebox, you can just hold it and completely ignore the near side. The problem is the function of the grenade is meant to help clear corners or push out people out of corners. This grenade doesn't achieve that, which means that the only way of using this grenade would be to catch someone who is out in the open and cannot hide behind hard cover. And then you also have to throw it, like, you know, you have to bounce it most likely from a wall. Like if I want to go through this, I'm gonna either just do this, but then it doesn't have an effect. I just announced my position, but someone who's nearsighted next to me doesn't get affected by it because he still sees me. But if I do it from long range, then this grenade is gonna be for someone else, right? or doesn't allow a person to peek for 3 seconds, because that's the near sight effect. So it doesn't really achieve anything. It doesn't really push out a person out of it. It doesn't allow them to re-peek from like dice on ascent. Let's say I attack dice on ascent, I throw that grenade there, and that person for 3 seconds doesn't peek, but they don't have to, because 3 seconds is nothing, right? And they don't get pushed out as well. So it's very hard to get any value out of this grenade when you just played the game. And the only consistent value that I could see with this grenade is by using lineups during executes. But it's so hard to use this during a actual execute as well, because the equip time on it is very long. So if you're getting pushed and you're holding a choke point, it's very hard to react by throwing it. And you have to think about the fact that this grenade works only with line of sight. So if I don't see the middle of the explosion, I don't get affected. Just like with the Waylay grenade or with, I don't know, the old KO grenade. But the thing is, like, if that's the case, then you will get randomly no effects even though someone will be in the range. And it's gonna be so hard to predict if you're gonna get the value or not, because this grenade is very hard to use. If this would be like a neon stun or like a Waylay grenade when it's instantly get thrown, yeah, maybe then it would be much easier to use. But right now, hard to use. You can't even right click to like do it like a lob or anything. It's so hard to use this grenade. Now let's talk about the two things that he's left with, which is essentially, well, his wall and his cove. Now the cove remake is good. I think it's a good change. You can now finally not be on the mercy of your opponents shooting down the shield and destroying the smoke altogether with the shield, which is great change, and I like that. But I think the problem is you only having one wall now removes all the creativity that you had with him. That we gained a little bit of the creativity with the cove, but all of the creativity with the wall is now gone, because you can only use it once per round, and that's, in my opinion, a problem. It would be much better if you would have the cove as a buyable and the signature still being the wall, because right now he lost his identity. He cannot replace Viper on any of the Viper maps because you can only have one wall, and he doesn't have enough smokes to be a solo controller. So he completely lost his identity, because the cascades were actually a very useful tool in scaling up. Without this cascade right now completely in his kit, you lose that uniqueness that he had before. So now he just feels like a very weird controller that doesn't have a lot of power himself. The grenade sucks, the ultimate sucks, the cove is okay, but I legit think that he would be in a better state if you would just leave him as it was before and just change the cove to this. Have this in the old harbor, and the agent is probably fixed, because now you still have the more powerful ultimate and a cove that doesn't have to be destroyed but can be used as a shield, and suddenly most of his problems are going away. So I really don't understand what is the purpose of making him this way, because the old ultimate was better as an initiation tool. The cascade was also better as an initiation tool because you were easier to scale up. But when you think about it, with the slow changes, the cascades were great at defending, because you were able to use the cascade in a choke point, and the jets or the neons or the razors were slowed down during their movement, so they were not able to dash forward because of that. So the Waylay would also been stopped because of the slow effect, but now you only have the slow effect on your one wall. So once per round, that's it. So I'm legit thinking I'm taking crazy pills, but I've said before in the previous iteration of Harbor that he sucks on defense because he doesn't have any stopping power. Then he gets a little bit of this stopping power with this slow buff, because now he suddenly stops the movement, and now that is just taken away because you don't have the cascades anymore. I am flabbergasted because this Harbor design choice, I think, is a complete miss. It doesn't feel any need that we are missing, and he loses his specialist, like he loses his specialization. So now there's no reason for him to be picked as a second controller, and he will never be picked as a solo controller. Doesn't matter if it ranked or a pro play. But, like, I don't get it. There's not a single map where he will be justified as a second controller. Because even if you play, like, the old Hub Viper combo, it doesn't give you anything. It would be straight up better to just play any other controller instead of Harbor. And it's I don't know, man. I'm a little bit upset with this because I really wanted this character to be just much better or much more useful. So even if you would not play him in ranked because it would be hard to get value out of from in ranked, I at least would have wanted him to be successful in pro play. But right now, I don't see any angle where he could be used with efficiency at a pro level that could not be found with other characters. And I do think that pro players are not using Brimstone Viper enough, and specifically also with current map pool, we should see more Brimstone Viper on Corrode, on not only on Bind, but on Corrode. It can be also used in future on Ascent. On Pearl, I think Brimstone Viper is still the better choice. Like, the Astra should be replaced by a lot of times with the Brimstone because of the nerf of the Astra. But right now we have a controller that doesn't really fill the needs of the teams that he could have filled before. So, like, with the older nerfs to the amount of utility, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, because right now we have less utility in the game than an average CS2 match. And it's really rough. It's really rough, and I'm a little bit disenchanted with the current state of the game after the patch 11.8. It's very probably visible in my content, but it is rough. Anyway, thanks for watching my rant, and I hope you guys, I don't know, learn something, because I don't recommend playing Harbor completely. Like, Agent sucks right now.